Hey, part 2 of So Tired of the Judgment, I Am Now a Runner. So, to get to this point, you've been through what they call the bubble phase. It's where you're in the tripped out, happy part of the relationship that leads to where you start really seeing that this is you're pushed to separation. You've triggered, boom, explosion, now you're separation, and you're both on your separate journeys now, which will lead you back to the same journey, your mission. And by this point, you're starting to feel pain, anger. You've had enough to push you to the point to where now you're trying to block it. You don't want to be in it anymore. You've had enough. So you might get in, like I was saying, into another relationship, whatever you use to block it. It doesn't matter. It's not, you're not going to be able to, because you could say God, higher energies, angels, however you want to do it, but I'm going to go with God because I feel like He's like the greatest energy. God is not going to let you block this. He's not going to let you be done with it. You chose to be in a twin flame relationship. You chose to come back or come here to do this mission to help the world. There's no way out of it. And that's where either where I was saying that the faster if you row with it, the faster it will go. You have to get up to a point of acceptance. Acceptance that this is what it is and there's no way out of it. So, what will happen is God's going to be like, He's going to push you to where you need to be, into the things you need to go into to have the growth you need to be able to let go, to shed, to become this totally different being you end up becoming. Everything will change. Your everything will change. And for me, it was like, example, to start with, I was married 12 years. I left my husband a year after I met my twin flame. Long story. But anyway, I did not want a TV in my house. When I was with my husband's non-stop TV's on, I couldn't stand it anymore. I did not watch TV anymore. I did not watch the news anymore. Then became really ill. So ill that I couldn't go outside. I was allergic to everything. I was pushed into the only food I could put in my body was organic, totally natural, no dairy, a very pure diet. I was pushed into pushing all toxicities out of my body, lead, aluminum, any fungus, I was led by, and each thing I was pushed to, you're going to die or you're going to do this. I was so sick, I was going to die or I was going to do that. Then the next level of pushing out the toxicities. My aluminum was through the roof, my copper was through the roof. I was either going to die or I was going to do this. And that also, so I'm going through this healing, I'm going through an awakening, I'm not associating with the outside world, I'm forced to look at me and what I'm going through and deal with my things. The more pure I got, the more awake I was becoming. It also made me, not want to be around as many people because I didn't feel well. At the same time, like I'm saying, I'm going through a spiritual awakening and I'm looking at people differently. I'm not wanting to be around the same people. I'm becoming more psychic ability. I'd always had it, but way more. I could just feel if it wasn't good for my soul, I didn't want anything to do with it. And the people that was not good for my soul, I didn't want anything to do with it. So I was shedding them. I was shedding impurity. I was shedding toxicity. I was going away from the outside world. I wanted nothing to do with the concrete world. you know. Anxiety was through the roof, you know. I felt like I couldn't go outside. I wanted nothing to do with it. Even before this happened, I kept saying, I want to make my own world. I want to make my own world. Put a big fence around to the land of the real, even before this even ever started. So I'm being pushed to all these things, or at the feeling of pushed or going to die, you know. Then the last time I seen him and had sex, it was so crazy and so much open from that. I'm now at the point to where I haven't had sex in 18 months. And just not because I'm going to die, but I was just pushed to a different level. At the same time, I'm being pushed to heal and clear my body. I'm being pushed to different levels. I'm being pushed to be more awakened, more aware, and everything is to the point to where I feel like I'm going to die if I don't, like physically. I mean, really, 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 no way around it hard, you know? And it's scary. It's like you get to the point you don't want to go through this no more. You don't feel like you can't handle this no more. And the one thing that I hadn't gave up was smoking. It was my last terrible, impure thing, you know? And for some reason for me, and I knew to do this because I knew my adrenaline glands was not going to heal all the way right at the start, which was 4 years ago. But I kept holding on to smoking. And I think that I held on so hard because I'd quit many things. Like in my 20s, I went through 2 years, I did drugs, you know. I'd always been very strong-willed to quit everything, but I wasn't quitting these cigarettes. And I think that, you know, inside I knew that when I did that I was going to become even more aware, even higher state to where I felt even more of a loss of control of who I was. You know, when you're going more awake, you're letting go of ego, you're becoming higher dimensioned. It's hard to feel like you're not losing your reality, you know, yourself. You are losing yourself, but you want to hold on to it. You want to hold on to that control, and it's scary. So I knew that when I went through and quit smoking, that I was going to be letting go of my last thing, and I was going to be pushed into an even higher level. And I knew it's what I needed to do, but I had fear. I had fear of going through that. And it was about a year ago, so I kept smoking. You know, I felt like it, and, you know, I had sinuses all the time. I knew my adrenaline glands wasn't healing, but I could still function and smoke. Then, about a year ago, the central air went out, and I was out there looking at it, and I was bent over it with the air guy, and the Freon exploded in my face. And the next day, I woke up and I couldn't breathe. It was like my chest hurt so bad I couldn't breathe. And I ended up in the hospital, and it was a chemical burn. So all they could come up with, like my oxygen was fine. It was a chemical burn that had to heal. It was like inflammation in my chest that had to heal. And, you know, I thought over time, so I cut down my smoking, and then that progressed to a point to where I couldn't go outside. I couldn't breathe if I went outside. And I went through this a year. I fought this a year. All I had to do, you know, and I kept going to the hospital. I went a few times, and a lot of them would tell me quit smoking, and it'll go away. You know, I was even pushed. So they wanted me to go through surgery to go into my lungs to look. I would have to be knocked out, inserted, and I still kept smoking because such fear of not smoking. You know, I knew that this had to be I knew what I was doing. I knew I was blocking my spiritual awakening more. So for a year, when I say, you know, I quit smoking, I tried for a year, I mean intensely. I wrote, and I was stuck in the house. I couldn't go outside. You know, me running in the field barefoot. I couldn't ground. I was so depressed that as crazy as it seems, it was like, God, it's like I'd rather die than live like this. I want to go outside. I want to feel better. It hurts so pleurisy over and over. It hurt so bad, and I just kept smoking. I would even write down like the ones, 72 hours and mark it off. And I would do this over and over. I would take like then I'd go smoke for 3 days, a lot. Then I'd go back to that because it hurt so bad. And then when I tried to not smoke, I couldn't function. I couldn't think. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't talk. I felt like if I talked on the phone or something, it would make me smoke. And I was just stuck in this battle with myself for a year. Isn't that crazy? I was fighting the awakening. And God, look at him. You're not going to heal your adrenaline glands. You're never going to be better. Okay, you're still not going to listen. Let's blow up this air conditioner. Okay, you're still not going to listen. You're not even going to be able to go outside and the grass. You're not going to be able to breathe. Still won't listen. Let's make it hurt so bad that they're wanting to give you surgery to make it better. Still not going to listen. Let's make you feel like you just want to actual thoughts of suicide over not smoking. How crazy is that? Pushed no matter what to the point to where I'm going to do what I need to do to become who I need to be to awaken to complete this mission. Do you see this? And I fought it. I could have rode with it. When I quit smoking, now I'm out in the field all the time. I I I don't have the anxiety. It's gone. I feel nothing. It's gone. I'm better. All I had to do. And yes, by doing that, things have opened more. I feel more, way deeper, more loss of control, more going into my purpose on what I need to do, more psychic, more, all that's more. And I don't even know, I don't even really, why do you, I guess just fear of loss of control is what it is. So, that's what I mean. Either you fight it, like I did, or row with it. If I would have just done what I'm supposed to do, it would have been a lot easier. I mean, you shouldn't have to be pushed to death to wake up, is what I'm saying. Learn from me. Listen. But, a lot of things happen in the process, too, that I went through that I learned and that I let go of. It's all process, but still it could be easier if you roll with it. Good luck. Talk to you soon.